Welcome to the Meredith Show live with our esteemed guest, Chef Brenda. Thank you so much for being here. Brenda Backal is joining us from Los Angeles, just where I am, which is rare. Sometimes our guests come in from all over the world, but in my hometown, which is so cool. And Chef Brenda has not only been a chef to the stars, but she's a personal and private chef to many regular people like us, everyday people too. And her story is sure to inspire you because you have a lot of shine, Brenda. So thank you so much for coming on this show.
Thank you for having me. It's a
I'm
pleasure.
thrilled to have you here. And what I love is you have so many unique qualities that people will enjoy. And your story is extremely inspirational. I'd like to start in the beginning. You were actually born in Mexico and you did not come to the United States until you were 24. How did you wind up here?
Well, I met my husband, and he didn't want to go back to Mexico, and I moved here, and we started together.
So I hear what you're not saying is love. Love takes us to a lot of places.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Yeah, and I have to say, another fun fact is, Chef Brenda, I hope you don't mind sharing with the audience. You and I share something in common. We both happen to be Jewish. But you're my first Mexican Jewish friend. You mentioned when you came to the United States, you didn't really know a lot of Jewish people. Tell us about that.
Well, I didn't know anybody in the community. I started looking for a temple to go to Rosh Hashanah because we came just here like 2 days before the high holidays. And I happened to have a temple around the corner from my house. And that's how I started going to temple and meeting people. And I became an early childhood educator teacher in that nursery. I was there for like around 7 years or so. And yeah, that's how I got my community.
Yeah, I think that it's interesting because wherever you go, we can find something in common with others. But at the same time, the other thing that my audience loves to learn about is not only where we're from, but what we've been through. And through the years, you have had some wonderful wins professionally, but before you had them, you had to take a leap of faith. And it came at a time where your husband had actually lost his job. And so many people, when these situations arise, sit back and panic. You took action. Tell me about that.
Well, I was not going to let my kids go hungry or lose a house or have any of that. So I decided that being a chef is what I like to do. Well, being an event organizer is what I like to do. The idea to come become a chef was after watching the Food Channel, obviously. I said, okay, fine, if they can do it, so can I, right? Wow. So I decided to go to Le Cordon Bleu to become a pastry chef. Because I didn't want to go through the culinary thing, butchering animals and stuff like that. That was not my thing. And after graduation, I went to work for high-end restaurants, becoming the executive pastry chef. And slowly but surely, I was very into learn new things in the restaurant. And in 2016, I decided to go on my own.
Amazing. Amazing. And, you know, a lot of people have the idea that they want to help their spouse or their family, but they don't really have the courage to do it. How did you dig deep and walk through some fears, I'm sure, about branching into something completely new for you? I understand, though, like, tell me a little bit about your love of food. It started at a young age.
Well, my mom used to belong to a women's group, as you and I belong to one as well. And I was always in the kitchen with my mom, helping her the night, 2 nights before prepping the hors d'oeuvres and this and that. But the idea of becoming a chef never came at that time. I was supposed to be a graphic designer. I was not supposed to be a chef. So my mom went to work, and when the women came to the house, I was the one entertaining them until my mom came. But I never crossed my mind, you know, to be a chef or to cook for people and stuff like that. And my husband told me, well, this is what you like to do. Why don't you go ahead, do it? And this is how I became a chef, I guess.
Amazing. And I think, though, when you make your mind up to do anything, you can. I mean, but it takes not only determination and commitment, but a lot of courage. Were there times that you were scared that you weren't going to be able to make ends meet or that your accent was going to get in the way? What are some things you had to overcome?
Well, the accent has never bothered me. I think as of late, people are noticing more and more my accent, but there was never an issue before. I mean, I've been here living for 32 years and nobody said anything about the accent, but being a woman in a restaurant was not an easy task. Although I was super strong, I was not going to let any man tell me, you don't know what you're doing, yada, yada, yada. I was always the one showing them that as a woman in the kitchen, I can do things better than you. And that's why women's are the neck of the men's body, because we can twist the head back and forth any way we want. So I was very strong. Was not easy, but I managed to come afloat and to become an executive chef of high restaurants in Malibu and Santa Monica.
Wow. And you're very humble. You were also the head chef for the Los Angeles Rams, the football team, for years. How did you get that dream gig? So many people would kill for these opportunities.
Well, after I had an accident in one of the restaurants, I decided to go out and don't do this anymore because I was tired already waking up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning and work until 11 o'clock at night. And I told my husband, I have to do something else. I cannot keep doing this. I'm exhausted. So after the accident, the opportunity to work for the Rams came about. I have no idea what I was getting myself into. Because I have never cooked by myself for 150 people. Breakfast and lunch and snacks and stuff like that. And I did it. And nobody's going to tell me no. So I became the executive chef for them for 3 years. I was the manager of the kitchen. Well, the important thing, we did not have a kitchen in the beginning.
Wow.
We have a Mongolian barbecue stove and a little burner. And that's what I was doing breakfast and lunch.
Oh my goodness. You are a magic maker. You glossed over that story though. I would love to know how you got that job because everybody would like a job like that.
Well, I had a friend who was looking for help when she had the job for the Los Angeles Rams. 2 months afterwards, she was fired and I became the main gancho.
So an unexpected, huge opportunity. I can't imagine preparing food for 150 people. What was it like? I mean, did you have to focus on extremely healthy options as well as cooking for so many when you cook for the Rams?
Well, people think that they eat a lot. They really don't. They because they have to eat 6 to 8 times a day. So the amount of food that they can have for breakfast is not breakfast was the most important meal of the day, but was not like, oh my God, I have to make him 20 eggs or, stuff like that. I learned I have to learn 89 different omelets and scrambled eggs. We have a hotline.
Wow.
And I have a cheat sheet for like a week or so. I memorized everything and I just saw them and I was just
wow. You're telling me you memorized what they wanted?
89 different personalized egg dishes.
Oh my goodness. So I think that there's a little genius in you that I'm picking up on. I love that. What was the most fun about working for such a big organization and team and sport organization?
Well, obviously, go to the games was my number one.
That was a big perk. I bet. I'm not a football fan. Were you a football fan before you got the job?
Never. I was like a baseball fan, and they changed me completely. I have to learn so many things and so many lingos that I had no idea what I was talking about. But it was fun. I mean, see how a community like that works is amazing. I mean, the amount of people who work there you have no idea. You have no idea.
That's true. I've actually done many things, but I've never worked with a big sports team. What was your favorite part of it besides getting to go to the games?
Watching them eat my food. Amazing thing. Because there were no complaints. I mean, nobody complained. Nobody came and told me, well, maybe you can do this different. I mean, I did whatever I wanted. I gave them a menu, a weekly menu, obviously. But I did it on my own. I mean, I have help, but I did it on my own. There was no gimmicks.
We have a lot of people watching. If you could type in the chat and let us know your favorite Chef Brenda, either food or pastry. What people don't know about you is you make some really special scones, and so your passion for seeing people enjoy your food doesn't end with just the food. Tell me about that.
Well, I love to see people smile when I'm in their home and I'm feeding them and I hear nothing. I'm like, what's going on here? And I go and look at them and they're like enjoying their meal. It's like you put a zipper in their mouth and they're not talking. In the beginning, in the first few times when I did this and I didn't hear anything, I was like super worried. But then I'm like, okay, so that means that they are liking the food. So
silence can be a good thing. That's true. We can't talk and eat and be present with our food as easily as we can do many other things. Not the best place to multitask. Exactly. And tell me a little bit about your scones. I know that you, first of all, I have had the pleasure of having a fresh scone from you. I was newly diagnosed and quite frankly depressed to be diabetic, thinking I couldn't have so many things with sugar, like a miracle. You made them. Oh, and some of your fans are saying that you also make monster cookies. I need to know what they are. Tamales, tingo, filet mignon. Oh my goodness. Tell me more. Tell me all your favorite dishes you like to cook. I see you have a lot of fans out there.
Well, the idea of I always make scones and stuff at home, but COVID hit, right? And I needed to do something about making my extra money because COVID was hard in the beginning. And I made scones for my mother, and she's my number one fan. And my daughter, she also asked me to send her scones to New York and stuff like that. So I said, okay, fine. So I'm going to make scones. And slowly but surely, people start ordering the scones, and I'm like, okay. And then they ask me for vegan, then they ask me for gluten-free, and so I said, okay, fine. I'm going to create a recipe where everybody will be happy and will be content, and everybody can eat it. And slowly but surely, 2 weeks ago, I just created a vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free scone, which people are raving about.
Wow.
And my Monsters cookies are also gluten-free. They are also vegan. They are delicious. I mean, what can I tell you? People ordered in New York, and I am very happy to send them. Very happy.
I love it. I love it. How do people get your scones? How do they reach you? On a website or phone number? What can we share with the audience? We'll put it in the chat.
Well, I can share it on my website, on my Instagram. People hear about it. And as I said, my daughter, she's a very vocal person for my business. So she was telling everybody about the scones. I sent them to the 6 crew once or twice already. So,
okay. Well, now I need to know, what's a gluten-free monster cookie?
Gluten-free monster cookie is a cookie made with oats, peanut butter, and there's no egg. There's tons of stuff, nuts and dry fruit, and sometimes I put chocolate because I have some chocoholics in my life.
Oh, that sounds good. That sounds really good.
Like a granola bar on the go.
Oh, wow.
That's how people put it in. I even, give them a little bit of granola so people can also add it in the morning with the yogurt.
I'm hearing from your audience, and I know from experience that there are many things that people have that are favorites for you. There, as I said, the tamales, the tinga. What is your favorite thing to cook? Because as a chef, I know it's rewarding to see what they love, but what do you love to eat and make and bake?
To be very honest with you, I have a lot of favorites. If I can tell you one, is that my mole sauce, if I can show you guys. Mole sauce, I'm preparing it to be put in the market. I'm working with somebody to have my sauces out there. My favorite.
I'm going to stop you because not everybody knows what that is. It looks like it's a red sauce. Is that right, or is it a brown sauce?
Mole is a red sauce made out with chocolate and spices that you can add it to your chicken, to your salmon, to even to pork, to meat. I know you don't eat pork, neither do I, but people use it for a lot of mainly for
awesome chicken. So you marinate with it and cook with it. Very nice. And you know what I have to say, sauces are, I think, the secret in many ways. I mean, a plain chicken is a plain chicken until you season and prepare it lovely, right? So, okay, back to your favorites. You said it's called, how do you pronounce that sauce?
Mole.
Mole. Thank you. Mole sauce. Okay. And what else?
My Italian pasta. I do a lot of ravioli, lobster ravioli, oxtail, which is one of the people's favorites. I have a fantastic artichoke dish that people love. That's the main thing that people order from me. To be honest with you, when my daughter and son-in-law come home, I have like a huge list of things that I have to do. It involves lamb chops, scallops.
All her favorites.
All her favorites. I have like a huge list, which I'm sure she's the one posting all that about the filet mignon and stuff like that.
Oh my God, I love it. Sounds so good. And but when you're just at home with you and your husband, what do you guys like to eat? Are you tired and you rather not do a big prep? Because I imagine you get exhausted from all this. I don't know how you do it.
Well, to be honest with you, it's gonna be sad for me to say this, but my husband is very content with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
No, I love it. I love the honesty, right? We always shine when we're telling the truth.
Exactly. No, I do. I mean, when I want to come up with recipes and stuff, he's my guinea pig, and he will tell me, yes, that's good. That's not good. I mean, we're doing a lot of poke, a lot of seafood. I do sushi, stuff like that. But basically, he's content with his peanut butter and jelly.
Amazing, amazing. Speaking of your fans, you have not only a big fan with your mother, but you are so proud of her. And I've had the pleasure of meeting her. We should tell everybody at home that you and I are both a member of the E-Women Network. And I'm so glad that we are, because I get to be connected with powerhouses like you and such special people. And so I got to meet your mom briefly at one of those meetings, and she's 81 and full of fire. Tell me about your mom. You mentioned she inspired your cooking too.
Yeah, my mom has been in my life, obviously, for 80 years. But she has been there with us in the good times, in the bad times, and she's the one that I can always call and say, Mom, I don't feel good. Or Mom, I'm so happy that this is happening or not happening. My mother is 80 years old. She still works. She still drives. She's nothing. She's like me. I think I got that from her. We are very pushy in what we want to accomplish, and she won't stop until she makes it. I mean, obviously, sometimes we get a little bit like nervous and stuff, but I think that's where I got it from.
I think it's so interesting you say that. This morning I was reading a quote about courage. Courage means walking through fear and being committed to seeing things through no matter what happens. And so it's not that the fear goes away, but it's just learning to be a champion and walking through it. Isn't your mother a real estate agent in Beverly Hills, by the way?
No, my mother is a travel agent in Beverly Hills.
Thank you. Excuse me. That's even cooler.
And she moved to California 20 years ago because of me. So I'm very grateful for her to be here in my life, in my kids' life. Yeah.
See, the love keeps moving. Love brought you here, and love brought your mother here. And I'm so delighted to hear she stayed. In an interesting twist in fate, my mother is visiting, and I'm working on what we call Operation Relocation. I would love for her to stay here too. Maybe we can introduce our mothers someday.
Yes, that would be a great idea.
And that's something we've been talking about. That could happen because you and I have discussed having an event at my house.
Yes.
You do private events all the time for people. Tell me a little bit about how those work, because that's really cool.
Well, it starts with a simple phone call. Do you want to be a guest to your own dinner party, or you want to be in the kitchen cooking and your guests are in your living room enjoying the food that you are making, which you are not happy making it because it's taking you a long time to do it. Yes. So once you hire me, I will give you a menu, obviously. I will do the shopping. You don't even have to do that. I go shop, I go to your house, I prep everything, I cook everything, I even serve you. I pour your wine, I pour your water. At the end of the night, you don't even have to clean the kitchen because I'm doing everything. Everything gets cleaned, everything gets put away. It's like nobody was there. all day long, and I spend in your house like around 5 hours.
Wow, that's amazing. And from what I understand, you're pretty much up to any theme. So I could say I'd like Mexican, or I'd like Italian, or I'd like Greek food, and you're open to any of it?
And whatever I don't know, I will figure out.
I love this. Are you noticing, viewers who are watching, a theme here? That I think your light not only shines bright, but you shine because of your determination and your commitment. And I think it's a lot of people's dream, Brenda, to work with a huge sports team. It's a lot of people's dream to make food fun and a career, and it's not always the case. Why do you think you've lasted this long? I mean, what worked for you?
Determination, not giving up. You are not going to defeat me as much as you tell me I am not good in what I do, because I have had say people, oh, you are not good for my brand, you cannot work for me. I'm like, okay, there's going to be somebody else who I'm good for, and I have proved it over and over. Easy to say, the Rams, I worked there for 3 years, and I have happy clients calling me and tell me, I just have a phone call before we start this session. I have a past client. He says, oh, we're going to be in LA. We need you Monday. I'm like, okay, I'll see you Monday.
Wow. That's love. That's love. And I think that whenever you work with somebody who really masters their craft, I'm listening to a book. It's called 10X, meaning really blowing up your life in a big way is easier than 2X. The whole book is about the fact that if you are excellent at something, if you give it your all, that creates freedom, opportunity. And I think another theme I see from you is not just determination, but an aptitude for excellence. I don't think you're showing up at people's houses just to serve them food, but to make an experience and to make wonderful food. Tell me what your version of that is. What inspires you?
Watching people having fun, watching people enjoying my food is what I love to see. The expression in their face is what says, okay. I mean, even though there are days that I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to go. I really wish they could cancel. But once I'm there, I'm like, okay, you are here. Let's show you who you are. Let's give them the best of you. And that's what happens.
And when you do that time and time again, there's always a huge reward. And I find it, really, 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 really lovely that you're generous enough to take time today, Chef Brenda, on the Meredith Show and inspire us with your shine. You are a bright light in the world. And I think anybody who has the gift of hiring you or having you in their home to cook, whether it's a party of 20, or as you said, I can't even believe or imagine what it would be like to cook for 150 people and football players. But you've really mastered all those things. Is there an experience, or perhaps maybe leaving the viewers with advice if they too have a dream that they've been sitting back on, but wishing and wanting for, and maybe just like you, disaster strikes, they're in a financial, difficult moment. That is a hard moment to rise up and push through. Some people crumble in adversity. So what is your advice to those people who have a dream and they're thinking it may not be possible?
If you have the willing, there's a way. Regardless of what situation you are in, if you want to come up the surface, go for it. If I knew what my life was going to be in the beginning, then everything will be easy. But if you have a dream, go for it. I mean, there are going to be ups and downs, but you're going to make it. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, because if it was easy, everybody will do it. But just go for it.
I love it. Go for it and shine. That's what we're going to end this segment on. Chef Brenda, what is the name on Instagram so people can find you and connect there and find your amazing scones and all the beautiful things that you do?
Thank you. I put it in the chat. It's Bibi's Kitchen with no E. Make sure there's no E in between the H and the N. So that's what you.
Got it. And we will post it since we're broadcasting to so many channels all over the place for you, because we want to make sure people can reach you. I'm excited. The next call you have with me, Chef, is about doing an event in my home for my friends and family. And I cannot wait to do that with you. Thank you so much for being a guest and sharing your shine and your story today. And thank you to all of you who are watching and raving about her food or interested in learning more. We will be sure to connect you. Thanks so much and have a great day. And remember, wherever you are, take a little time, dig deep, walk through that fear, find your courage, and shine.